All right, let's jump right in. There's this secret war being fought every single day in the world of food. Seriously, an invisible enemy is constantly on the attack, threatening everything from a super expensive steak to the simplest ingredients we use every day. And today, we're gonna pull back the curtain and show you how to win that war.
So, let me ask you something. What on earth could a $500 steak, the protein powder in your kitchen, and a sparkling clean factory floor possibly have in common? I know, it sounds like the start of a weird joke, right? But believe it or not, they all share one relentless common enemy.
And that brings us to the villain of our story. We're talking about an invisible force that can absolutely wreck product quality, grind production to a halt, and cost businesses a small fortune.
Yep, you're looking at it. Humidity. We all know how it feels on a hot summer day. Sticky, gross, uncomfortable. But in the food industry, it's a total nightmare. It's basically a VIP party for bacteria and mold, and it can turn perfectly good products into a sticky, clumpy, unusable mess. To really see what we're up against, let's go on our first mission. We're heading to Japan to help rescue one of the most prized foods on the entire planet.
So, welcome to a meat refrigerator in Kagoshima, Japan. Now, this isn't just any old beef. This is world-famous Wagyu. We are talking incredibly high stakes here. The quality and flavor of this meat is literally everything.
And here was the massive headache the owner was dealing with. Refrigerators, by their very nature, create a high humidity environment. And that's like rolling out the red carpet for airborne bacteria and mold to start growing right on the meat. But, and this is a huge but, if you make the air too dry, you ruin the meat. It loses the compounds that give it that unbelievable melt-in-your-mouth flavor. It was a total lose-lose situation.
This was the number they were fighting against, 70% relative humidity. Basically, the air was just soaked with moisture. At this level, the bacteria were absolutely winning, and the quality of that priceless Wagyu was on the line every single day.
And boom, this is the solution. Just look at that drop. They slashed the humidity in half, bringing it down to a perfectly controlled 35%. This wasn't some tiny tweak. Oh no, this was a complete and total game changer.
The results? I mean, they speak for themselves. They were just incredible. The bacteria count on the surface of the meat, it plummeted. Mold growth, totally suppressed. And the meat's quality and flavor weren't just saved, they actually improved. This directly increased the value of an already super premium product. Now that is a huge win.
Okay, let's switch gears and tackle the next boss battle. We're going from ultra high-end beef to something we all probably have in our pantry. Powdered foods. You know, protein powders, spices, instant coffee, that kind of stuff.
This big thing right here is called a hopper. It's essential for mixing and processing all those powdered products. But when humidity decides to join the party, this critical piece of machinery can turn into a massive, production-stopping nightmare. Just look at this before and after. On the left, you've got the problem. The powder is literally sucking moisture out of the air. It gets sticky, it clumps up, it clogs the hopper, and the entire production line grinds to a halt. But on the right, after they took control of the air, what a difference! The powder stays, well, powder. It flows perfectly. No more clogs, no more frustrating delays. Production just flies. All right, for our last challenge, we're in a race against time. This story is all about getting a factory clean, dry, and ready for work, super fast and super safe.
Wow, this picture really tells you everything you need to know, doesn't it? On the left, that's what happens when moisture lingers. You get condensation, damp floors, and you guessed it, a perfect breeding ground for mold. It's a huge safety hazard. But look at the right, a total transformation. That workspace is completely dry, totally hygienic, and safe for everyone. So picture this, daily frustration. Every night, the factory gets a deep clean with water. But in the morning, everything's still damp. So workers have to come in early just to manually wipe down all the equipment and floors before they can even think about starting production. It's a huge waste of time and money, and it happened every single day.
And the win here was an absolute breakthrough. By actively drying the air overnight, the entire facility, we're talking floors, walls, and all the machinery, is bone dry and ready to roll the second the morning shift arrives. No more wiping, no more delays. That daily headache, it's just gone. So, we've seen these incredible wins in 3 totally different situations. Now it's time to finally meet the hero behind it all. And here it is, the Seibu Giken Desiccant Dehumidifier. Now the easiest way to think about this machine is like a super-powered moisture magnet. It is purpose-built to literally rip water molecules right out of the air with amazing efficiency.
And how it works is beautifully simple. First, it sucks in all that wet, humid, problem-causing air. Then, inside there's a special rotating wheel, the Desiccant wheel, that acts like a high-tech sponge, trapping all the moisture. And finally, it blows perfectly dry, conditioned air back out into the room, completely changing the environment.
And this is absolutely crucial. This technology isn't just effective. It's certified and safe for the food industry. It's HACCP compliant. Now that's just a fancy way of saying it meets the absolute toughest, highest international standards for food safety and hygiene. It gives you professional-grade peace of mind.
Okay, so let's zoom out for a second and look at the big picture here. Why does any of this really matter?
Well, it really all boils down to this simple, powerful truth. When you're making food, controlling the air isn't just some small detail you can ignore. It is a fundamental game changer. It's what ensures safety, elevates quality, prevents waste, and at the end of the day, protects a business's bottom line.
So, I'll just leave you with this one thought. The next time you're about to enjoy a perfect meal, a great steak, a smooth shake, you name it, just take a second and think about the invisible world it came from, because chances are there was an unsung hero at work tirelessly winning a war against the air itself to make it perfect for you.